welcome to the Destroyers podcast. We have a guest on today.
Yeah. Alright, Big Lip Scoop.
It's Big Lip Scoop. We went to see the Joker.
It's Joker. It's just Joker.
Just Joker.
They want you to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
We have a pretty divided opinion on this film.
Well, we don't entirely know each other's opinions. We've talked briefly about it.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I liked it, but it could have been so much better.
I adored it up until a certain point, and then it's complicated. I still don't entirely know how to feel about it.
Yeah, I guess I'm the same page.
Joker is my favourite villain of all time, and yeah, we'll see where the conversation goes.
Tasty black coffee, only at Lidl.
Oh, so you didn't make me a fucking coffee.
I'll make you a coffee in a bit.
So this is what a guest gets.
I'll make you a
Christ.
special cup still out there.
My special cup.
Yeah, you can have a coffee in a minute. Yeah, so a point that Chili brought up is he didn't find the film dark enough.
No, and I think what made it worse was the trailers kind of promised us this dark Joker film, and while it did deliver, it didn't deliver exactly how it could have.
The predicament with this film, I think, as is with most films, is the hype.
Yes.
The hype was ridiculous. Apparently critics were running and jumping and dancing out of Venice. Yeah, all down the street, parading it. And it's been out, I think it got released to critics like a month ago or something. And they haven't shut up about it, so
Well,
it had big, well...
I didn't know anything about this shit. You boys knew about this. I didn't know.
I knew it. He
He
fucking told me.
I
I wouldn't have had this problem if you didn't.
I was trying to avoid it, but like loads of podcasts have talked about it.
Well, I don't listen to them.
Like I wait until I like to wait until I've seen the film before I watch.
But they're not
reviews
Joker
about it.
related podcasts. It just happens to it's just
Yeah.
been popping up. People have been talking about it on the internet.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But
yeah,
like,
but now it's out. It's fine.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
like if you haven't seen the film,
Oh,
It's a
spoilers!
bit late to
Spoilers!
say now,
Spoilers! Spoiler alert!
ish. We
Run
won't
for
give
your
away
fucking
anything
lives if
too
you haven't seen
big.
the movie yet. Kill yourself.
Well,
Is there much to spoil, really?
No, look,
Like-
just put a spoiler tag. Or you know what? Don't.
No,
I don't think there's much to spoil in
No,
this
there's
film.
not really.
it's just the Joker.
I only saw the first trailer, and about halfway through, I could pretty much see where it was going, which is problematic to me.
That's the thing. It was kind of like that, but I was like, oh well, it's Joker. It might not be as it seems. And
Like,
it was, but in the wrong way.
You said it wasn't dark.
Not
Alright.
dark enough.
Let's
I didn't say it
get
wasn't
into
dark.
this a bit later.
It is-
How about Clam? What do you think the plot was?
The plot was a guy called Arthur Spink, or whatever his name was.
Arthur Morgan.
Fleck, Flock. Who's Arthur Morgan?
He's the he's the protagonist in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ah, Red Dead Redemption. I know him. Yeah. I need to stop picking up little quirks my brother has. He keeps saying I know him about everything. Fuck you, Darian. Everyone, just tell him.
Anyway,
Straight.
Fuck you, Darius.
Fuck you, Darius. And fuck you, Arthur Morgan.
Right, we'll get on with the
Yeah,
plot.
so, the plot. Whatever his face was, is going through a lot of stress. He doesn't know where he fits in with the world. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who anyone else is. No one notices him. And when people do notice him, they only notice him for negative reasons. And they life shat on him, basically. But he comes to a demented realization in his head that he's not insane, even though he very much is. But he's convinced himself almost that he's not insane and things are going to work out for him. But then, of course, it doesn't really happen, and he just becomes this sensationalized icon of almost terrorism.
Yeah.
It's almost
That's
it's
the plot.
almost like the origin, possibly. I know you're probably gonna say no, but it's almost like Heath Ledger's Joker's origin. that.
They didn't explain
No,
Heath
I
Ledger's
think
origin.
if anything, have you heard that theory that he was something to do with the military? He had some military experience to explain how he can rig up all these bombs and stuff like that, and his tactical.
No, but I mean the sort of sensationalized terrorist aspect of the Joker, where
They flat out fucking ripped off a shot from The Dark Knight where he's in the police car.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
up against the window.
I wasn't thinking of The Dark Knight.
See,
Like-
that's the thing. That film's so iconic. It's not like, ooh, they're paying homage. It's almost like you've ripped it off. It's one of
It's
those.
like, yeah, that's to be fair. Maybe it was an homage rather than
The-
they ripped it off, because it's the same fucking franchise in a way.
My favourite homage in it was when young Bruce Wayne goes down the pole.
Yeah, that was me and you chuckled.
Yeah.
We were just like that. What was up with Alfred in this film? He looked like Matt Berry.
They didn't say he
Yeah.
was Alfred.
You could
Because-
tell
It was obviously
I
Alfred.
don't know.
Who else was it?
Yeah, well, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't
but
give
like,
us an Alfred.
like ever since Sean Pertwee played Alfred, it's like he's suddenly gone from this gentleman
Michael-
butler to this like
Oh, okay, the Cockney thing.
like the Cockney, like, oh right mate,
Batter you.
yeah,
He's like-
he's
again,
like a
like-
rough and tumble sort of guy now, and like for one time with Sean Pertwee, it was cool.
To be fair,
Yeah, it
Year
worked.
1 started that, though. No,
Yeah.
not Year 1, Earth 1.
Yeah, but it was still sort of like
Jeff
that's
Johns
one
comment.
interpretation.
And isn't Gotham supposed to be like a different take on the whole thing?
Yeah, but like now more
it's the same
Alfreds
as
are
this film,
becoming
like-
like this. Like Jeremy Irons was a great Alfred because he was very much a comic book
Why are you saying
Alfred.
Alfred?
Alfred.
Alfred.
To be fair, fair,
Alfred.
he is saying it like how it's spelt, so he's maybe more
Alfred.
right.
Okay.
Alfred.
But like, no, but that doesn't sound right,
Yeah,
even
it
though it's how it's
doesn't, no.
spelled.
Fine, I'll say it
It's-
like you boys. Alfred.
It's like
Alfred.
if everyone
Alfred.
started calling the Bible the Bible.
Yeah, but you do anyway. I've heard it.
Yeah, I know, but like,
So
I mean-
you just killed your point. Jim.
Right. For me, I was adoring the tone of the film. I loved the directing. All the performances are amazing. He was sort of hypnotic in his movements. How he transformed himself. He was so fucking skinny and
It was like an art
disgusting.
performance.
It was
Yeah.
it was brilliant. All the stuff with him dancing, I loved. But like when it got to
Oh, shut up.
the
Julian.
ice cream van's, yeah, it's pissing down with rain. We all know what he's got in his mind.
Julian, go
well,
away.
you know what? If the ice cream man didn't show up every time it rained, we'd never fucking have any.
I know, Julian, go away.
Yeah, but then by the time you've got your
That's his
wallet,
name.
you're down the street, it's driving away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too late.
They don't wait
You messed
long
up.
enough. These fucking ice cream people. Like, I don't know if they do it anywhere else or if it's just a Swansea problem, but
What was I saying?
Yeah, the tone, it was like mangled, whatever.
Yeah, the way he moved his rib cage, everything like that, it was disgusting. I loved it. But where the problem came in for me, where I started going, oh, this is not going the way I like it going, is when they brought in that whole plot about Thomas Wayne, which, yeah, I don't know. It didn't need to be there. You didn't need the Waynes in it at all.
I don't think you need it in there, but I'm not.
It
opposed
just
to
seems like a
being in.
prequelitis thing, even though it's not a prequel. It was supposed to be a standalone thing.
well, they did
I could have done with the Waynes just not
But
being
they,
in
they,
it,
they were
or
trying
just
to go at
mentioned
it
in the
at a different
background.
angle because this this is the big thing. I was talking to Dan. Shout out to Dan. We love you, boy. Yeah, it's this juxtaposition through Batman's eyes, through Bruce Wayne's eyes. His dad was a fucking saint. His dad didn't step a foot wrong. His dad was this icon that he's trying to.
It's not exactly original anymore,
No.
because the Telltale game did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
but the Telltale game did it
But-
better.
Yeah.
I might add.
Who fucking played the Telltale game?
We're playing it on a let's play
Okay.
let's play. So
Okay.
yes, you will see it for yourself.
It's very
But like
good.
for the mainstream, because everyone sort of like was like, oh, it's an Arkham game. What is it? I didn't hear much hype about the Telltale games, to be honest.
Oh, it's not. They're nowhere near Arkham level.
No,
like,
the
exactly.
story is excellent.
Like the story's good, but like
Plus, it's that thing of taking one thing from one media into another. So it's they've taken that idea and put it into this. So I'm not opposed to it. Plus, it's from the Joker's perspective because although he ends up not being his son, it's the thing of he's still his son, but like he thinks he's his father, and you've got one child who idolizes this man and another child who despises this man, and it's a nice juxtaposition because this film drives home the point that the Joker and Batman aren't too similar, because in this film the Joker's played like the hero at the end. They worship him. He's a savior.
Dark Knight do that? Well, okay, maybe not the savior part and all that, but didn't they do the same thing where it's like they're not that different?
Yes, yeah.
They're one and the
themes of
same.
the
You
Dark
can't
Knight.
have one without the other.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's played on the Joker's perspective as opposed to the hero's perspective.
For me, everything this film was trying to do thematically was very ham-fisted, and they wanted you to know about it. Like, the whole speech he gives in the end, in
That
that
was
scene
my
with Rob De
one
Niro,
main
I
problem.
hated it. I was just like, oh, don't come out and say it.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on. We know, yeah, the rich people are douchebags. Oh, Gotham's poor and scummy,
He
and no
didn't
one
need that
listens to the
breakdown.
insane.
He should have just laughed and shot the guy.
Yeah.
I could have done with some just stronger dialogue in that scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, or like you said, no dialogue. You
Like,
just laughed.
he came
a little
out
bit of
doing
dialogue.
that dance, and I was like, oh, he's doing the Joker, and he's
Yeah.
doing it well. And then he sits down, and he starts talking, and he's being sadistic, and you're like, this is cool. And then he starts having a mental breakdown, and it's like, the Joker wouldn't do that.
I wish he had
Right, this is-
lost his cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Joker, in that situation, wouldn't have lost his cool. The Joker loses his cool about petty shit, and is quite, for some reason, he's quite calm about the most difficult of situations because he's messed up the way he is. So him breaking down in a hard situation doesn't work for the Joker. The Joker's supposed to get angry when one of his henchmen, like, I don't know, farts in the corner of the room and it smells funny.
And in the comics, his first appearance was on TV as well, so I thought he was going to do something a bit grander than just shoot the guy.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna start killing like loads of random people in the audience
Like,
and that
I'll
doctor
admit-
and everything, but no, it was just that's it.
The
He
last
doesn't kill
bit of the
anyone
film
else.
didn't live up to my expectations, but I'm not letting that like destroy everything I felt through the film.
I can't understand why people were calling it too dark.
It wasn't
should
dark
have-
enough. It was
It
nowhere
was a very
near
mild
dark enough.
15.
How it should have ended.
It could have been a 12.
Like if I was ending made the end of the film, I would have done the whole riot thing first. The Joker's up in the car like the savior. Then they storm the studio and just slaughter everybody, and it ends with the Joker locking down the TV screen, and then it cuts. That's how I would.
Yeah, that would
directed
have been
the
much
last bit.
better.
Yeah, so it could have been like you already had these people like ready there
Well,
to do it,
no.
like, and they were just waiting for the gunshot
Yeah,
or whatever.
like
Like-
the Joker and this army of goons, because he does have goons in the
He
comic.
wouldn't
God,
Nece-
we should be writing these
He,
fucking films.
he wouldn't have necessarily had to have hired them. Like, it could have still...
No, they would have
played out
followed
with
him
them.
there. It would have played
They
into that
followed him
savior
there.
sort
okay,
of
yeah.
thing. He could have walked down the street dancing while they all follow him with their bats and stuff, and then he just waltzes into his like his sort of debut on TV. But he brings all these people with him, and they just trash the studio, kill the people, and the Joker just takes over the TV. And then I would have finished it there.
And I wouldn't have had them knowing his name is Arthur Fleck.
No, because like that was the one thing that bothered me from the start. I was like, we're not supposed to know the Joker's name.
I don't mind.
Well, it's
Like,
fine for us to know it because he's the anti-hero, protagonist, antagonist, whatever, of the story. Like, it's fine for us to know, but the public, he should be a nobody.
But what I liked about the film is the last act wasn't tense, because I think what they were trying to go for, don't quote me on it though, is we're supposed to feel how he's feeling in this point of view. He's been tense through his whole life, and suddenly he's relieved. So the end of the film isn't tense. Now, as an audience
He
viewer,
stopped doing that nervous laughing thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that you
So
should have
wait,
kept that.
was that a condition or not?
We've done
We don't.
Or
I
was
don't
that
know.
just
him.
him telling himself he was
Yeah, because
insane?
that's like the whole thing before he kills his mother. He was like, well, you're telling me it's a condition. You're telling me I'm crazy, but I'm not. It's just me. Like
That's the thing. In the Joker's head, he was crazy when he was part of the human condition. Now he's not part of it. Now he's excluded himself from that. He feels like he's found his freedom, and that's what the end of the film is about. Suddenly, there's like these bright fires, and everyone's wearing these colourful masks, and it's almost like he's having his pride party. Like he's come out of the closet, and now everything's colourful, and like, now he can dance about and be the person who he wants to be. Only problem is, he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
That's it's a juxtaposition. It's good for him that he's found his ground, but he hasn't found his ground, and everyone else is suffering the consequences.
No, it's just he thinks he's found his ground, and in reality, he's done the complete fucking opposite.
Yeah.
Like,
and I didn't like at the end of the film that he's sitting in this asylum, whether it's Arkham or just Gotham prison or whatever. His hair wasn't green. Now, it made me think at first, was that all an illusion? Was he dreaming all that up? Was that the joke in his head?
Like, was he, like, what? So
It,
what do you mean?
it felt like it was being
asylum?
meta, like, oh, it was all just in his head and he was just thinking about this while he was at an interrogation meeting about a possibility, but he hadn't left that asylum he was supposed to be in the whole time.
Yeah, because like there was that scene in the beginning where like he went, "Oh, I felt better when I was in the hospital," and there was like that 2 seconds of him like banging the wall. Was he there the whole time?
He's smashing his head, and he's wearing the exact same clothes in the exact same building. So, and then it cuts to the end. His hair's back to the way it was. He hasn't got any makeup on it. So it's either a long time after, or none of that actually happened, and it was all in his head, and he was just theoretically thinking about a scenario.
Yeah, to be fair, I hadn't thought of it
because
that.
The film does show him actually thinking of a scenario, because it's when he's watching the talk show host for the first time, Murray. Was it Murray?
Was it
Murray something? Like, in the apartment, he's like, "Oh, I love you, Murray," and then he calls him up, and then it's like...
he's prone to delete, like,
so,
the girl...
Like, it's shown that he is capable of that.
So it could be a total, like, meta within meta film. But I'd find that a bit of a cop-out. It's sort of like, oh, don't worry, it never really happened, this guy's not really the Joker, but he's also a killer anyway. Because at the end, he's running down the corridor with that woman's blood on his foot.
The thing is, I went into it expecting, like, there was a certain point last week where I was like, well, maybe I am going to just come out of it feeling a little bit sick, and that's what I wanted because it's the Joker.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel disgusted and a bit disturbed, and I wanted this film to be on my mind for quite a while, but it just it didn't get anywhere near that. When
he becomes the Joker, he doesn't play on the fear of people. He just shoots people. Now, when he stabs the fat guy and the dwarf's freaking out, that's the Joker.
Yeah.
The way he behaves in that situation.
For me, the best moments of the film are like the quieter, small moments like that, and I like when he's unpacking. Well, he's packing up his stuff from his job, and he like smashes the thing off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah,
I like that bit.
But when he's interacting with these other clowns, and you see how these are just normal people, but they're clowns, and pardon me, he's actually just the one unhinged person within. He's the one loose hinge on this door. It's interesting because he's in the same predicament as the rest of these guys, but they don't understand him, and he doesn't understand them because they're mentally their worlds apart. That was interesting, and yeah, like going back to the bit where he stabs the fat guy. It was almost like he'd come to the realization of who he was, because he sits on the floor for a while, and then he's just panting and he's just staring, and the guy's freaking out because he just seen his mate get stabbed and thing, and then he starts acting like it was no big deal, like he kisses him on the head and lets him go, and that's what he should have been like when he was on the talk show. He should have just been like
kept his cool.
Yeah. Because that's what the Joker does in the comics. Like, the Joker would get pissed off about the smallest things. But
it's all the petty stuff he gets really worked up over.
So when he's making a statement about something, usually the Joker would just be intimidating and creepy and just start like looking at people, like he did at the start of the interview, where he's just staring at the audience. I was like, that's something the Joker would do.
And he's making those sick jokes that aren't really jokes. They're just statements.
Yeah, that's sort of like a sick
that
version of the Joker. Jokes. But when he starts lashing out, it just becomes, I don't know, he reminded me of, I don't know, edgy. It just became a bit edgy, and I was like, no.
Well, it was just like, yeah, here's the message of the film, by the way.
Yeah, and it's like, we've been watching the film for an hour and a half. We know what the message of the film is. We're not paying attention. This is a problem I've got with the film industry in general. Well, the mainstream film industry in general is they're too on the nose with stuff these days. They think we're fucking thick.
Even
when
that
they're not.
scene, even the scene with where you find out that girl's just been an illusion. They could
didn't
have
have
had
to show flashbacks.
There would have been a smarter way of doing that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to show her disappearing from the flashbacks.
No. But by her being scared, and we know already by prior delusions we've seen, he's prone to delusions. And seeing her scared and him in hers, plus with the tense music, that's the brilliant thing
So
about music.
do you think he killed her then?
No, I think he just left because in his head he liked it. We
Don't we see any blood on him while he walks away?
No, I
No.
don't think we did.
No, I think he just leaves them. They done nothing wrong to him.
Yeah, that's why he
This
left
is
the
a
midget
version of
alive.
the Joker who's only killing people who's wronged him. He's a vigilante Joker. He's out
Ish.
for revenge. He's not killing because he finds it funny or
The
anything.
film wants to be Taxi Driver, but it can't.
I've never seen
Me
Taxi
neither.
Driver, so I
I
don't know.
won't spoil it. We'll do it at some point for the podcast.
Yeah.
For me, it was advertised as if it was one of these gritty 70s thrillers, but it feels like a Hollywood version of that.
I get
It's that for people who don't like those films and like The Hangover.
Tarantino should have made it.
Oh, don't get me think. We were talking about this yesterday.
What were we
Like
talking about?
we were saying, like the Punisher was someone similar to
Yeah.
the Punisher. Like
No,
they
what
should-
was the original? Because before you said Punisher, we were talking about.
was it Batman?
No, it was fucking hell.
And I will say, this this disappointed me because just a few months ago we saw the ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's nowhere near as good
No.
an ending.
That has
That's
such.
so much more chaotic.
Yeah, but like Tarantino is just a fucking great.
Like, we're doing Tarantino soon. Well, we're doing
On the other
Tarantino
podcast.
quite a lot soon. It's my first proper pick on that podcast.
Yeah, well, stay tuned for Back Row Jerkers, our movie-centric podcast. You could say this is like after we've recorded a lot of them pilot just to like test the waters.
This is a mixed bag of stuff.
This was
Like,
because
we plan on improving,
this
but
was
for now,
because
this is
I
just
forgot
what
the
it is.
XLR for the mic.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
me and Chili have been using a Nintendo Wii Rock Band mic as a microphone plugged into my laptop. When Big Lips comes down, we have all the fancy equipment. We have an interface, we have an XLR plugged into a very fancy, expensive mic with a pop filter and a cradle. But yeah, you
Forgot
forgot
it all.
you forgot the one of the main.
No, I remembered the mic and the laptop. It's enough. And if Swansea wasn't so shit,
Yeah, okay, to be fair,
we would have been able to pick
Yeah,
up a cable.
we went into the only music shop in Swansea. We used to have a few, but they all got closed down. So we went into the only one, which is on top of a record shop that is way overpriced. And the guy had sold his last 2 XLR cables yesterday. Fuck you.
And while we're on the topic, we only have one fucking comic shop as well.
Yeah, but
And
it's a good
half the time you feel unwelcome in there.
Yeah, Simon is like the greatest shop owner in history, but the guys who work for him aren't so welcoming. I feel like
Like I've never had a conversation with anyone, but even just like the
No.
way they are, like just being there can make a big difference.
yeah. Plus
Like-
Simon, no, it's because like if Simon didn't own the place and they just worked there, it'd be fine. But it's the contrast between them being normal and Simon being such a welcoming, happy, talk to you about anything.
Grant
You know
Morrison
what though?
looking man.
Anything is better than that fucking guy.
No,
with
he
the
looks like
beard.
Mark Strong.
Yeah, kind of a mixture of him and Grant Morrison.
Anything's better than the last owner though.
No,
Right.
Simon's always been the owner.
No,
That
but-
guy just worked for him.
Oh yeah,
I
anything.
never used to see
does-
Simon
Does he
before.
work there
No.
anymore? 'Cause I've never seen. I haven't
No,
seen
he
him
doesn't
in
work there
ages.
anymore. That guy was a fucking prick. I went in there once, and I could tell.
Say it was face in.
Well, bring him here in.
If
I
you're
don't know who he
listening,
is.
you know.
Exactly.
If you're listening, you may know who you are, but if not,
Yeah.
then I'm sorry if you think it's
Your
you and it's
services
not.
were a failure to the comic book industry, much like Marvel these days. Yeah, this guy. I was very heavily into my Aliens and my Predators when I was about 16. And I went in and I said, "Have you got any Alien or Predator comic books?" And he went, "No, we don't fucking get them in." And I was like, "Okay." I went round the shop. I filled like both my hands full of graphic novels with aliens and predators in them, and put them on the desk. And I went, "Well, what are these?" And he went, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "You fucking working
Did he
it?"
even look?
No, he was a lazy bastard. And it's like, how will you work? Simon's probably keeping you on because he's such a nice guy, but your work ethic's horrid.
It's like he could have at least said like have a look around instead of just no.
Or he could have got off his lazy ass, walked the 2 steps it takes to go around the entire shop, and just gone, "Well, we might have some here, have a flick through there." Yeah, like Simon does, like a good shop owner does. Nah, this guy fucking terrible. And that guy in Cardiff, Comic Guru, what a prat.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Joker, innit?
Yeah, specifically.
Yeah.
Were we done?
How do you think? Where would you rank this Joker alongside the others?
Okay, that's interesting.
Heath Ledger's above him.
Yeah, I'd
Jack
say Heath
Nicholson's
Ledger's
above him too.
Ooh, I don't know. I think. Alright, if I had a choice of watching this and Batman 89, I'd watch Batman 89. But
is it just live action Joker you mean, or like
Yeah,
every
just like
Joker
because
you can
Mark
imagine?
Hamill will just come tops.
on a
Mark Hamill jumps over
yeah.
everybody. Like,
On a performance level, I think he's much better than fucking Jack Nicholson. But
that Jack Nicholson's Joker is from a different time.
Jack Nicholson Joker
era.
has more iconic lines.
Like it's from a different time
because
as well,
because the dialogue's written better.
Yeah.
and not to mention it's a differently directed film too.
What I did like about this film a lot.
I liked its style.
Yeah, visually, it was very much how I picture Gotham. That sort of the Batman animated series thing where everything's very old and 1930s, but it's also
tell
got...
us when
there's
this
some-
was set.
No,
When
because-
was it set?
I was
Because
wondering that.
some parts are very 80s, but some parts are very 1940s. Like, they've got old 40s TVs, everything's black and white. But there's also, like, all the TV shows do look like they're from the 60s, but then there's also gaming arcades. And, like, there's a mixture of, like, really old technology and really new technology. So,
They
the
tried
film,
to do the timeless thing.
yeah. And I think visually it does work. Like, it was how I picked, not like with the colour schemes, but the overall design of the city is very much like it is in Batman the Animated Series, where nothing feels grounded in a time. It's sort of like, they have modern technology, but they're still using like 1930s like Metropolis sort of technology as well, and the buildings are new and old.
Gotham kind of does that as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like how like it's clearly set in like
Gotham tries
The
to be
mo-
the
it's-
Tim Burton films.
yeah, but it's like it's weird how they've all got like touchscreen modern phones, but it's clearly set before those existed.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy about it. It's got this. It's obviously a different world to ours. It's not grounded in reality. It's the perfect scenario where they're like, right, Batman's his own. The DC universe is his own thing, because Superman does the same. You've got 30.
And they couldn't have this film. They couldn't have actually set it in modern day.
No, that
because
wouldn't
they
have
would
made
have caught
sense.
him really quickly.
Yeah, like the second he shot the people on the subway, it would have been like the cameras would have been
yeah.
there. So it's obviously, well, it might have happened right now, but in the Batman universe where technology's different and Batman's sort of got all like the cutting edge stuff and the rest of the world's behind on everything.
Yeah.
That's the brilliant thing about making a film ambiguous as to where it's set in time. You can put it anywhere. This film could have been in a high-tech version of the 60s. It could have been in a sort of amalgam 80s. It could be a very low-tech version of now. We don't know, and that's what helps this film, I think, in its sort of presentation. What doesn't help is the writing of the Joker at times, and the overall like last act of the film. Like if they'd done it I'm not big tooting my own horn, but I'm totally tooting my own horn. If they'd done it the way I did it, said it would have gone, I think it would have been a lot more impactful, because it leaves it completely ambiguous as to whether the Joker's caught or not, and it's more impactful just having the Joker down the lens of a camera. Like Did he go up close to the camera when he was on the talk show? He walked up to the camera, didn't he?
I
Yeah,
think
'cause
he
it cuts,
did.
Yeah, he did, and then it cuts to him in the police car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hoping we get to see the Joker doing more fucked up shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I would like
he
to
didn't
see.
use terror as a the Joker plays on people's emotions. This didn't. This Joker was just bitter. Whereas the Joker, I don't know,
I thought the talk show was going to be the start of the third act, and he was actually going to go on a bit of a fucking spree.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen.
But he didn't. He gets caught by the police, and that's the thing. Unless those rioters didn't crash into the police car,
But then he got caught again anyway.
yeah. So he's not a very good Joker, really, is he?
Well, and
He's not as elusive.
He's not Jared Leto bad.
No.
And he's not even bad. Like, his acting was fucking fantastic.
And when he was doing his laugh, it was perfect.
I think, to be honest, he's got the best live-action Joker laugh.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I come to ranking these Jokers, I'd probably say Jared Leto's at the bottom. I'm not a big fan of Heath Ledger's Joker.
You just say that because Jack's not.
No. Jack can have his own opinion. I'm not too keen on it. It's not what I wanted in the Joker. I'd say Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger are pretty much the overall Heath Ledger Joker's more consistent, so he might be a bit higher than Joaquin Phoenix. Oh no, Cesar Romero's higher up than Jared Leto as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on, again.
So it'd be Jared Leto, Cesar Romero.
You have to give Cesar
Well,
Romero
I'd say-
a little bit of slack as well.
I'd
because
say Zach
he's from the
Galifianakis is
60s.
higher up.
He's from the 60s. He's meant
What?
to be...
Zach Galifianakis played him in the Lego Batman.
We're
Yeah.
not talking about voices.
No, actually, he's
Are
pretty
we?
bad.
Yeah.
He is bad. He's worse than the Jared Leto one.
Yeah, and then for me, Jack Nicholson will always be my definitive live-action Joker. There's something.
Don't say
about-
always. Come on. What about the new Robert Pattinson one when they bring the Joker in?
Oh,
for that?
yeah.
If they do,
Yeah,
they might not.
No,
I-
I don't want them to straight away,
No.
especially with this film coming out. It's like, give
Well,
Batman,
no,
he's
a
got
lot of his
plenty of
villains-
other fucking
Yeah, they're
villains.
all in it.
Fucking
Apparently.
use
They're
them.
all in it. Like it's gonna be a detective one, so there's gonna be a lot of villains in it.
So he's gonna be popping in and saying
Yeah.
where's it?
Is it gonna be? Is it gonna
That's
feel like?
what-
we
Is it
haven't
gonna
had
make
a
me feel like
Batman
4 or
film like
5
No, that-
separate episodes?
that-
like the
that's
That's what it's like in the
series or
comics. He
something?
just bumps into them.
No, that's the problem. That's what a lot of people, even comic book writers, forget. Batman is not a superhero. He is a detective.
Yeah.
He
Like-
doesn't. He doesn't even have superpowers because that's the main thing. There's super is in the name.
Yeah, he's
He's
a
a hero.
vigilante detective.
He's a detective with advantages because of his technology he has that nobody else has.
Sure, he gets into fights and stuff, but that's not what proper Batman fan. I'm not trying to gatekeep, but fuck you. Ooh, that was a bit rude, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, unless
Batman is primarily a detective. He searches for clues. He uses his technology to further the investigation. He shouldn't be using his technology to blow shit up.
except for the Arkham games, combat first is acceptable in those.
Yeah, because if we were walking around a lot with no action sequences, then it'd be a very boring game.
No, I don't necessarily think that. I think they could make a good game with the detective aspect, but
Yeah, but you need the
like,
action
they'd
in
have
it to break it
They
up.
did it in Telltale.
yeah, Telltale doesn't
That's
really.
that's mostly
They're
detective
practically
Batman.
they're basically modernized versions of point and click adventure
Ah.
games.
You'd like it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, when we do
We're-
it on
we're doing them. I've
Let's
got-
Play.
I've got practically all of them installed on my PlayStation ready.
Cool.
I've only played the first one.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet. I need
Is
to
there
get
3
that.
now?
No, there's 2, and unless Skybound decide to make another one, there's gonna be no more because Telltale are fucking gone.
Are they?
You haven't heard about it?
When they go belly up?
Ages ago now. I can't remember when exactly. I think it was last year, the beginning of this year.
That's a shame.
But,
But then again, I feel like they've
Oh, it ended
They've
with The
done-
Walking Dead season 4. I think.
Fuck
No, I
Walking
think.
Dead.
No, the Walking Dead game. It's nothing like the series.
Is it based on the comic?
No, it's nothing to do with the comic. It's its own thing, and it's a
Didn't
lot
they make
better.
another Walking Dead thing as well?
They made
A
a
game.
spin-off game for Michonne, which is 3 episodes long, and it's not the best. compared to the main series.
Walking Dead. Am I right, boys?
No, the Telltale games are good. Like, and fuck the series for making it look bad.
I
Like-
can't get into the Walking Dead series. I get 3 episodes in every time, and I get fucking bored. There's no pathos to it whatsoever. I don't get why people enjoy it.
I don't mind
And I'm a
season
massive
1.
zombie fan. I will defend the George Romero Dead series to the day I die. But Walking Dead, it's just twats with zombies, and it's not even a comedy. If it was a comedy, it would have worked. But no, he's just moronic people. I hate it.
Right, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
go on, man.
we've killed our
We
spirits.
might do it on our podcast, but
Yeah, we'll
If-
watch it a couple more times.
we'll see.
We'll get
we'll
more
see.
in depth
if there's
when it
more
co-
to say.
Yeah, if there's more to see, and if our opinions change, because that could happen.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Bye.